What's up, guys? Back with another video. Today I'm gonna do a video on the car because I actually didn't really show you it last time. I left you guys in the dark except for that little clip I put in the end with that little edit. But I'm gonna go over everything that's done to the car that I can remember anyway. I'm gonna try to do my best. It's been a while. I've done a lot to it. It's basically a full bolt-on setup. So I guess I'll go ahead and show you guys the car. Please excuse how dirty it is. I haven't washed it and I really need to. I would have done it before this video, but I'm starting to run out of light. But as we go around this side, you can see my custom little badges. A lot of people get a kick out of, but some people tend to think it looks like a wolf or a dog of some kind, and they obviously don't know about Mustangs because everybody knows the nickname for the 5-liter is the Coyote. But as we come around the front, you can see this, which I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for, but it wasn't something I did on purpose. So let me explain. This goes into the story of the car as well. I took it to a local car meet-ish type thing. It was a Mopar event, but everybody's really welcome, at least in my book. So I went, and typically it's over here on Bryce Road in Reynoldsburg, and they do burnouts and such, and it's a real great time. At least for the first couple hours. Once it gets a little later, it starts to get a little crazy, so most of the time I leave around that. But for me, it got a little crazy too fast, and I know what some of you are thinking, and it's not the case. I did not run people over. I was trying to prevent that, trying to end up like a stereotype, but I did my burnout, came around the corner and stopped because there was people everywhere because I didn't want to end up like a stereotype, and this lady walks up to my car, dead stares at me in my face, looks at the front of the car, looks back at me, and just winds back her leg and kicks the living crap out of my front bumper. And a lot of you probably would have jumped out of there and chased her down, and I was about to do the same, but luckily one of my friends was in my car with me, and he's like, dude, it's just not worth it. I was like, all right. So I get out of the car, I park it to assess the damage, and it had a big old chip on the front paint, on the front bumper. And I left it for like a week or so, and I went to wash it. And I wasn't using a power wash or anything, I just kind of got the car wet and tried to wipe it down. And when I was wiping around the area, it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And for the meantime, I was like, at least if I put a silly Band-Aid on it, it'll keep it from chipping even bigger. And I would have just paid to have it fixed, but I plan, like I said earlier, possibly changing the front bumper. So there's really no point to pay for that now if I'm just gonna pay for a whole nother bumper to get repainted anyway. So I put that on there as a joke, and I literally took actual Band-Aids out of the first aid kit at work and put them on the front. The second one was an actual rock chip, and that wasn't me, that was a coworker at the time trying to be funny. I was just gonna leave it there at the time because I think it was when I was pulling the rear end apart, and I had it up on the lift, and he grabbed some and put them on there to be funny. I was like, oh well, I'll just leave them on there, I don't care. I already got 2 other ones up there. As far as tires go, I got the Invos by Nitto on the fronts. Those are just 255s in the fronts, but the rears, I just recently got these race stars for the rears. I still need to get the fronts. But if anybody knows anything about building a car, you run out of money really, really fast. So yeah, that tends to happen a lot with me, but I got a 17-inch rim on there, and they're 305 45 17s, and they're street they're Nicky Thompson ET Street SS's, and every time I've taken them to the track, they just hook and book, and I love every bit of it. But as far as suspension goes, it's on a Eibach, which now I'm kind of starting to hate, because if you're around the car, you hear me driving it, it squeaks like crazy. It's super annoying. So I don't know what I'm gonna go with. If you have any suggestions, definitely leave a comment or something like that. But as far as the suspension goes, I've got a lot of suspension work when it comes to the rear end, especially. The front end also has some work, but it's not really much. Like I said, it's got the springs, and I also got a, what is it? I got a BMR brace that basically bolts onto the front suspension, the cradle, to kind of hold it planted. Because I really built this car just to go in a straight line, and it does a damn good job of it. But that's really it for the front. But the rear, it's got basically the same kind of idea. I think it's from Steeda. It's got basically a brace that bolts to the subframe back there. And as you know, I'm a tech, so I really do all this stuff myself, and it's kind of cool in a way. It saves me some money, but I got those braces. I actually got a bunch of other suspension parts sitting in my toolbox at work, but so I got those. What else do I got? I got the toe links from BMR. I got the vertical links from BMR. Basically everything you can imagine BMR, I got it in the rear end of this car. Even my own father, he told me when he was watching me at the Test and Tune event here at National Trails, the quarter-mile track I run it at here in Ohio. He said he was watching there was some stock Mustang GTs, same year as my car, going down the track, and theirs were just kind of swaying back and forth down the track, and mine was just dead straight and narrow down the track. It's kind of crazy to think about these parts actually make that big of a difference. And recently I put a new clutch in it because my old one just decided to blow up, but after looking at it, I saw why. It basically was just down to metal. There was nothing left of it, and it still managed. The car ran a 12.0. Just flat 12.0 with what I got with the full bolt-on setup, and I don't know how it did that with a clutch that was constantly slipping. And I knew, as a tech, I knew it was bad because the clutch pedal was all the way to the floor, really, and that's normally a sign of your clutch probably needs to be done. But if you know anything about these MT82 transmissions, they're a pain in the ass to get out. Well, not so much out, but apart is the issue. And the previous owner, he destroyed one clutch, and then the one I bought it with, it had a second one in it. The only reason I know that is because I'm a tech at a Ford dealer, and I could look it up, and it shows all the previous work history that at any dealership, any Ford dealership anyway. But yeah, it had two clutches ahead of me, so I was on its second, and it still managed around a 12-second flat. So my goal for this year is to hit 11 seconds, at least 11.9. I was really hoping for that, but with that clutch, it was just holding me back. And once I got these slicks, it just destroyed it. It was gone that night, and it literally it broke my throwout bearing in half. When I pulled the trans out, it was completely just gone. So when I drove it home that day, I had to drive it home without a clutch, which is kind of sketchy, but if you know what you're doing, you can get it done without breaking your transmission. After he destroyed those two clutches, or during, I don't know, it's always been this way, but like I said, it's a pain in the butt to get these cars, or really the MT82s apart to fix. And he destroyed the synchro on gear 2. That's why I didn't really want to do it at all, and I was just gonna wait till the clutch decided to take a crap so I could actually force myself to pull it out in a way. But I got it apart. Synchro's now fixed. It's got a good clutch in it now. I went with the what was it, the twin disc 800 horsepower clutch from not Mickey Thompson, holy crap, from McLeod RXT twin disc 800 horsepower clutch, and it grabs and it scares the crap out of me on the streets now. I want to get on it, but I just can't because it scares the shit out of me now, because I went from having a stock one with a bad clutch to a decently highly modified car for just being a full bolt-on car, and it just hooks and it scares the crap out of me. But yeah, that's for the most part it for the suspension. Under the hood, I've got the GT350 intake manifold. I've also got the Ford Racing 47-pound injectors because I'm running E85. And that little dyno video I posted, or I really kind of just edited into the end of the last video, the welcome to the channel video, it made 440 wheel horsepower and 386-ish, I think, torque. And that was on a slipping clutch, so who knows, I could actually be making a lot more than I think I am. But I believe that's everything I've got done to the car. I mean, I got a JLT. Most Mustang guys go JLT, but I got a JLT cold air intake. It's the bigger one that you actually need a tune for. And I also have a Barton Hybrid 3 short throw shifter. And that's basically it for all the mods, I'm pretty sure, as far as I can recall. I mean, with the clutch, I also did a lightweight flywheel with it, so it also revs up pretty quick too. And I think that's it, except for one more thing. I also did the rear end gears. And if you know anything about performance pack cars, it comes with the brakes, it comes with a little bit of suspension tweaks, and it also comes with 373 gears. And it was fine before I changed to the gears. It never broke at the track, it never did anything, and then I said screw it, and I put a big old frickin' gear in it. I put a 456 from Yukon, and it revs so fast. It is terrifying. The first time I took it to the track that day, I broke a half shaft. It was great. At first I was kind of upset because at the time, or still, I don't have a trailer set up or anything like that, so I don't have a way to get it back home. So I had to have it towed to my job so I could actually fix it there. And but yeah, it snapped my half shaft, and at first I was kind of pissed off, but then I was just kind of proud at the car at the same time. It's kind of amazing what these cars can do with a little modification. But yeah, that's basically it for the mods. But the story on this car is pretty cool, I think. Also, I told little tidbits of it throughout while I was talking about the mods I got done, but it's got a pretty cool story, because basically when I started off, I went to a school in North Carolina for auto mechanic stuff. I was there for 3.5 years, took the Ford program and got my credentials and all that stuff. And at the time I had an 06 V6 Mustang, and if you know anything about those cars, they're slower than hell. And the school I was going to, they would actually they kind of like rent out the track, the local track there for us, like once a year, I believe it was. And I raced a 95 bone stock Civic, and I almost lost. And that was the breaking point for me. I was like, I am not losing to a Civic. I'm like, if that's what you want to build, that's cool, but it's kind of sad that my car had 2 more cylinders and I'm still almost gonna lose to a 4-cylinder car. So I had to change something. So I was there at my job now for 2 weeks, I believe, and I bought the 2013 car. If you follow me on Instagram, you can see the old pictures, even the pictures from when it got totaled, from when the guy hit me. Well, that's a story for another day. But I bought that car, and at the time I actually had a motorcycle too. I had a 2014 R1, and scary motorcycle, scary-ish car, going from a oldish V6 Mustang to a 5.0, and it was a lot. It was way different for power anyway. And yeah, and then I got hit, and then it was kind of a blessing in disguise type thing, because I was living paycheck to paycheck. It was pretty bad because I had to pay for insurance and the vehicles and everything. If I didn't even really have money to do anything to those cars or the vehicles in general. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise when I got hit, because luckily I work at a dealership where they'll literally let you trade in anything, which is kind of nice. And I traded in a bike to them, and they gave me a little more for it than they probably should have, just to help me out. And the car you see behind me is proof of that that they just kind of helped me out there, and that's basically the whole story on the car as far as me getting it and all that. But after that, I just really just started modding it, and then occasionally I do some stuff with some friends and just go to car meets and stuff. Like I said in a previous video, we do that a lot here. And I just started getting bored with it, so I started going to the track and started having a lot of fun, and that's when I got bit with the mod bug. And now I'm doing all right for myself, but it's I'm still pretty broke sometimes. It's pretty bad, but yeah, I fixed the half shaft after it broke when I put those upgraded gears, because if you know anything about people that are just into cars, they shit talk a lot, and I've got a bunch of them at work. I got a buddy with an old Fox body, and he always gives me crap. So that's when I upgraded the gears. I'm like, oh, I'll get you when I do that. And then I broke my half shaft that night, and I was like, oh. But yet, like I said before, I'm pretty proud of it. But then I upgraded it to the Drive Shaft Shop 800 horsepower ones, and never had an issue since. Really, the only thing I've left to do to make it bulletproof is oil pump gears and a one-piece drive shaft. But I think I'll be fine until I go supercharged. I don't think that the drive shafts start to break till then, and as long as I don't money shift it or anything stupid like that, my oil pump gear should hold on, hopefully. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I've done to it and the story on the car, and things will change in the future, and hopefully for the better. I'm pretty happy with how it sits now. Really, I'm kind of doing this in like steps for myself, because anybody could just go out and throw, because all the money I put into this, I could have bought like 2 or 3 superchargers, but I just kind of wanted to do it in steps. So right now I'm kind of happy with the NA life. It's kind of nice. I don't have to worry about any crazy tuning or anything stupid like that, but in the future I do plan on doing that. But I think now I'm going to start to focus on the exterior, because if you look at it, it looks just like any other 2015 Mustang, other than the fact that it's competition orange, which is a kind of rare color. But I think this year over the winter, I'm going to start buying some exterior stuff to make it stand out a little bit, like a wing, or change the front end or rear end or something like that. But oh yeah, and I also have a two-step. I have a two-step by MSD. A lot of people go with the watt box, but I really wasn't trying to screw around with a bunch of wiring into the PCM or however you do that. I saw a video once on it on YouTube, and I was like, yeah, it's a little too much for me. I just want it to be quick and easy. But it's hard for me to mod my car because I'm lazy, but at the same time I want to actually make it faster. So it's difficult. But yeah, I got the MSD two-step, and especially with my long tube setup with no cats, it spits flames. It's louder than hell. It sounds like a damn cannon going off. It's a bit ridiculous. But almost forgot about the mods. There was one more thing. Obviously, I got a full exhaust. I got a 1 7/8 stainless works, or stainless power, one of the two. I think they're the same company. But headers, no cats, Ford Racing X pipe, and a Flowmaster catback. It is probably the loudest 5-liter you'll ever hear in your entire life, and video will never do it justice. Even I think one of my recent subscribers from my last video, he's a friend of mine actually, he used to work with me. He posted on the last post saying, after he saw that end little clip of the dyno, he's like, that doesn't even do it justice because how loud it is. In order to understand it, you have to hear it in person, but I might put a little clip of it at the end of this video. But yeah, that's basically it for the video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate everybody who leaves a comment, like, and subscribe. But yeah, that's basically it. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next one.